want to bring my panel in to talk about this market, break down the economic momentum and everything else. Liz Peek, FiscalTimes.com columnist and a Hill contributor. Jillian Melcher, Wall Street Journal editorial page writer. And Stephanie Hamill, the National Diversity Coalition for Trump advisor, also a Washington Examiner contributor. Stephanie, since it's your first time on the show, I want to go to you first. These numbers are remarkable, and it's interesting because there's this story of black and Hispanic unemployment that's also woven in there that I know no one's going to talk about in the mainstream media. What are your thoughts?
Charles, this is exactly what I was thinking about. I mean, you're one of the very few honest hosts, and of course Fox News as well. But out there on the mainstream media, the hosts, they're not talking about this because it doesn't fit the narrative and their agenda. But we're seeing Black Americans, Hispanic Americans getting jobs and making money. When President Trump talks about making America great again, this is exactly what he's talking about. We have the left who fearmongers and says, oh, well, President Trump, when he said he wanted to make America great again, it meant that he wanted to make America white again. Well, this shows that it's completely false. His policies are helping all Americans.
You know, Jillian, it's interesting. Stephanie's got the Harvard behind her, right? And it just makes me think of the old saying, the same tide lifts all ships. And if you do the right things to move the economic needle, everyone benefits. And by the way, this is before the tax bill. You've got to imagine that this momentum's got some legs.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good indication of how suppressed the economy was in the Obama era when we had all of this overregulation, when we had a punitive tax system. You know, I think another thing that I saw today that points to how everybody's benefiting from this economy is if you look at Americans for Tax Reform, they've been keeping a list of all of the companies giving out bonuses. That list is now 100, and we're not talking about trivial benefits. We're talking about benefit hikes. We're talking about $1,000 bonuses. We're talking about wage increases, often for low-income Americans. I think those are really positive things, and they completely refute the point that this is only for the benefit
and
of
hundreds of millions going to charity as well. We've heard those announcements. I was thinking about reading that list, but it would be more. It would take me more than 60 minutes to read the whole thing.
The whole segment.
Yeah, Liz. So again, it's one of these things where I guess you can argue against it. You can try to find flaws with it. But you do feel something different. There's something in the aura of America, particularly when it comes to our economy right now.
It's animal spirits, honestly, Charles. I mean, from the day of the election, optimism amongst consumers and business owners has soared. And that has now translated into better spending amongst consumers, better investment among business managers. And that, as you point out, is even before the tax cut effects begin to roll in. I think the thing that now we start to watch is wage increases. We saw a tick up in the wage growth in this particular month report. I think that's going to continue to accelerate. That is the next big thing for consumers and for the economy.
What do you make of the way the market closed? I mean, today, and I'll talk about it later in my market segment, I saw a buying panic for the first time.
Yeah.
I think there are a whole lot of professional money managers out there who are saying, you know what, I got to get in on this. We closed at the high of the session in the market and other mini stocks.
I agree with you. I heard someone the other day talking about how there was so much resistance to this market, but then there was so much complacency. I don't think there has been complacency. I think there's a lot of people who have sort of decided that values were high, et cetera, et cetera. And the old adage about buy on the rumor, sell on the fact, they sort of sold when the tax bill got done. I think they're now having to rethink that. I agree with you.
Fair to say, Jillian, we're in a Goldilocks kind of period right now?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. And part of why is, you know, the stock market's volatile. It's up today, it may be down tomorrow, but I think what we see that's really positive and lasting is what we're seeing with labor force participation, with what we're seeing with job growth, with what we're seeing with the wage trends. Those are the things that are the signs of a real healthy economy, and I think that's strong and promising.
And I also think the Fed is going to stay its course with this report. I think that's one of the reasons the market traded
right, that's part of the whole Goldilocks scenario. Stephanie, you know, last year, President Trump, after the Charlottesville situation, lost his business council, the Business Roundtable, which is sort of critical because he leans on the private sector. He wants input from the private sector. Do you think now that the tax bill is done and some of the other things in this agenda are being worked on, these business leaders come back and they say, hey, let's huddle up again, because ultimately this is for the benefit of the entire country?
Yes, they probably will, but knowing them, they would probably do it in secret because, as you know, the leftists, they just put so much pressure on these business owners and business leaders. Like if you look at the CEO of Uber, you remember they started the boycott, the grab your wallet people. And, you know, and you're looking at what's happening right now. It's ludicrous when Democrats and liberals they're actually trying to give Obama credit for this economy and for jobs when we know that it's completely false. Obama everything that he did, his rules and regulations were strangling the U.S. economy. What Democrats don't realize is when you have less government, that's when you create growth.
Right. So, Stephanie, let me ask you, on that point, I think a critical part of any successful economy is folks buying in. In other words, part of a successful economy is self-fulfilling. Does the mainstream media do a major disservice to the average American by dissuading them that this is a great economy, or by deflecting what's making this economy do well? Because I'm worried about people who are not only in the market, but who may miss an opportunity to start a business, to do things that they dreamt of their entire life because of what they're hearing in the news.
Yeah, it's extremely reckless, it's irresponsible, it's unethical. And like I said, I watch a lot of news all the time, and I watch the Spanish channel too. And all they do is fearmonger about the president and his administration and what they're doing. They never talk about the good. Instead, they're talking about how, if you're illegal in this country, that this administration doesn't like you and they want to, send you back to your countries. I mean, that's all that they focus on. They need to talk about the economy. They need to inspire people, and we need to get behind this president.
Yeah, the things that the reason America has been a beacon is it's playing out right now, and that had faded for a little bit, and it does kind of remind me when President Reagan came into office, that sort of idea that animal spirits could exist in this country again. When Tocqueville came to this country, he marveled at the idea that everybody he bumped into thought they could be a success. Unlike Europe, if you were born a peasant, you remained a peasant. But in this country where everybody was crazy, everyone thought they could be something. He went back to Europe and said, do you hear this nonsense? I mean, so maybe, Jillian, that's coming back.
Yeah, I think it is. And I'm going to point to deregulation for a huge part of this. I think it's noteworthy when the New York Times is doing profiles on businesses that have just been drowning in regulation. And they did this great write-up of a firm that had been just, it had an inspector show up, that it was just stifling their business. And here we're seeing a regulatory rollback that is unprecedented since the days of Reagan. This is something people in my generation have never seen. And it really is going to create a space for young people to start businesses.
Are you concerned the pendulum goes too far? Like, in other words, remember President Obama ran on higher regulations after the aftermath of Wall Street saying they can't police themselves, and that's why the floodgates are open for so many strangling regulations. Are you concerned yet that the pendulum has gone back too far? Or is it still too early?
I think it's still too early to say, and I'm also going to point to, I think we're seeing a lot of small business growth and a lot of regulations that hit the little guy harder than they hit corporations.
Yeah, I agree.
Corporations can afford it. Those little guys are going to benefit.
It's tough when you're starting a business and you got to pay for the accountants and the lawyers and these people and those people, and you got to post these signs, and it's just nuts. And I think you're right. I think we're going to see entrepreneurship go through the moon. Ladies, thank all of you very, very much.